Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Valeria and this is the Off-Road Trench. Please, look at the wall behind my back. Yes, this is my future living room, which is almost ready. I hope that we are a few days away from completing all the interior work. We had a few delays with a bathroom project and with an electrical project. The bathroom is quite small and there is a window there, and I would like to place there a toilet, a sink, a shower, a boiler and a shelf there. And this is quite a lot. And in addition to the small area, a window also imposes restrictions. Although I think that a window in a bathroom is a cool design choice and it improves ventilation, it slightly eats up space. So I had to be even more creative and the project changes slightly. But let me show you the results up to date. We are gradually completing the installation of electrical cables. The output of wires to the outside of the house for future outdoor lighting is at a height of almost 5 meters. Therefore, it was necessary to very carefully bring through the walls in such a way as not to disturb the insulation of the wall pie. Wiring outputs for the lighting on the ceiling also took time. Despite the long cable, it doesn't mean that the chandeliers will actually hang so low. This length was made just in case, taking into account the spiral length, since I don't yet know what kind of lighting I will have. And this is the same bedroom you saw me in the previous video in. This week we covered the remaining walls of the bedroom, since last time we covered only 2 walls. The bathroom turned out to be very small, but according to my design project, everything I need fits in there. But so far, I have neither water nor the ability to supply it, and this is a difficult and expensive process. And in any case, connecting electricity is the first task. Therefore, for more than 9 months now, I have no access to just clean water. And finally, we covered most of the cables with clapboard. As you understand, the lining is nailed onto a wooden beam, and behind the beam there is wiring. There are a few days left to nail the baseboards and sand all the joints. As you can see, almost all the walls and floor are covered with clapboard, and now I can spend the night here in the room which is most ready, warming up the house with a little warm air blower through a generator. I'm finally feeling a little warmer. But while painting, I will have to live in a tent 1 more week, because even if it is the safest and most environmentally friendly painting, you still cannot breathe its fumes. You need to wait until it dries. Just look how beautiful it is. All internal work is 99% complete. The sun cast rays incredibly beautiful into the house. Large windows were definitely a great choice. Dear friends, the house is almost ready. Except for the final interior decoration, flooring, furniture, appliances, there is still a lot of job to be done and a lot of money to spend. This is additionally comparable to the cost of everything that already exists. Am I happy? Definitely. Do I feel at home? Mostly yes, then not. But the house and the plot still require a lot of time, work and finances, and I constantly feel under pressure. As I planned and as I said in the previous video, the entire work is already done, but there is quite a lot to be done outside the house. For example, we need to finish the corners of the house, to check the operation of drip lines and to install appetites. And then we had problems with the supply of materials. Different textures of metal coating are used for the roofs and walls and for window sills and corners. As it turned out, the factory now have difficulties supplying the materials of the exact color and structures that I need. So they brought me the wrong material, which I had to refuse, unfortunately. Since my order is very small in the scale of the plant, no one will give priority to fulfilling my order, despite the fact that the raw material wasn't my fault. So now I have to wait until the metal of the right color and right structure is ready, and I don't know when it will be. I still cannot move into my house fully. Materials and tools are stored here, and some final work is still carried out. But I can already sleep upstairs in the attic, and that's great. Due to the fact that the house is pretty large for a small warm air blower, the temperature inside is not much higher than outside. Now my task is to test the house for heating speed, to test warm retention, to keep statistics depending on the weather and temperature outside, and to monitor for drafts and heat leaks. Of course, these are huge costs for fuel, the use of generators' resources, and exhaust emissions, which greatly harm the planet's ecosystem. Next step will be work to connect electricity, and this is also a huge job, and currently I'm studying the specifics of this work. Although the procedure for connecting electricity is highly standardized, bureaucratic issues are difficult and go very slowly. Therefore, I cannot say yet about the possibilities of connecting electricity in the near future, especially considering that there is still some material, scaffolding and construction waste on the site, and construction itself hasn't finished yet. In addition, the issue of access to clean water still remains acute, and in this situation, I cannot plan at all when I will be able to organize a supply of water to the house. As you know, the well that I had been searching for 4 months in hopes of cleaning it and finally getting water turned out to be broken and very polluted, so it cannot be restored. So my efforts were vain. Having rented a new plot of land, I was hoping that I will be able to clean that well and use it for water supply to the house. However, its history also very complicated. Firstly, the well itself is located in the most difficult thickets, and it is dangerous to go there, and there can be anything in the thickets. Nails, boards, holes, glass, birds' nests, animals' holes, snakes, anthills, and so on. I will definitely show you everything later. Secondly, the distance from the well to the house is more than 70 meters. One of the first things that I did when I rented the plot and started the construction of the house was trying to get through the thickets and measure the distance from the well to the house. It turned out quite a lot. Imagine a pipe and cables that run across the entire plot for 70 meters. Let's say that I have money for so many wires and pipes. Let's say that I can calculate the required pump power and the required thickness of cables, taking into account the pressure drop and the drop in resistance of the wires. 70 meters is a very long distance. This is a distance for industrial facilities. Therefore, calculations, power and prices will be on industrial scale. Let's say I can provide all of this. But I cannot lay the cable and pipes on the surface of the ground. In this case, they will be under direct sunlight and precipitation. In this case, they will be in direct access of any person who enters there and who wants to steal the cable and pipes. Moreover, it would create huge obstacles for the passage of any equipment, for working with trees, and for my movements around with a saw, a rake, a shovel, a wheelbarrow, and so on. What to do in this case? I have some vision of the right decision, but it can take months of work and can cost dozens of thousands of dollars. What kind of vision this is and why it can cost so much, I will tell you later. Write in the comments how you would organize water supply to the site and what I should do now with the lack of water. And also, do not forget to write your opinions about my new house. It was Valeria, the Off-Road Ranch. Wish you all the best and see you soon.